Hi everybody, this is Dario. Welcome back to my channel, Motley Reads. So today I'm going to do a tag. I've been doing tag for a while. I discovered this fantastic tag that Steve Donahue created. It's called Books and Life tag, and I've seen that many booktubers have done it, and I think it's really great tag. Both interesting questions, interesting to think about, and also interesting to listen to other people, their answers. So I thought, okay, I will give it a stab. So yeah, let's go on with it. So first question: on a scale of 1 to 10, being a normal person and 10 being a delayed Harold Bloom, how much are books and reading a part of your life? Here, it depends who you compare with. I would compare myself, with Steve Donahue, I would say 1. If I would compare myself with average Swedish person, I would say 10. So it's very much depending on the reference frame, so to say. I do read regularly. I've been doing this my whole life, more or less, so to say. Certainly, there were periods where I've been reading, especially less. In my when I was in my early 20s, for instance, have been reading. Very much during that period, but it increased more and more, and now basically I have a quite demanding work, so I spend a lot of time working and thinking about work. But I like also exercising. I'm running, like some of you that have been following me for a while know. I'm a long distance runner, so that also takes quite a lot of time. When I run, I do when I go for my long runs, I do listen to audiobooks. But then in most of my then idle time outside of working and running is then spent some with books, either reading them or going through to bookshops, or buying them, or talking about them with my wife, or watching booktube. So if I would try to put some kind of absolute measure without relating myself neither to Steve Donahue nor average Swedish person, I would say 5. So question number 2: where does your personal library stand right now in relation to the rest of your life? Do you have more books now than you ever have? Fewer? How has your library changed? I've been accumulating books over many years, and I'm never getting rid of any books. I'm not don't throwing them away. I'm not giving away my books. I buy books to people, and if people, ask me to borrow a book, I go and buy a book and give them, because I know if if I kind of lend it out, I will never get it back. So I rather buy it and give it than give one of my copies. And that's it is I learned that lesson, unfortunately, practically. It is quite huge, my personal library. I just realized that at some point we will need to put some books in boxes and show them into the garage or something like that, because there will be no space in the house. Yeah, it is what it is now. It is most. I have lots of books now, and my library over time has changed. With my on the non-fiction side, with my interest, during the different periods of my life, I've been interested in different things. I've been when I was earlier in my academic career, I had lots of books related to science, non-fiction books. Of course, my books that are related to my research and so on. That aside, but other non-fiction books were related also to science. I've been having lots of these, and then it went more into kind of business books, and then into history and social studies. So the areas have been changing on the non-fiction side. On the fiction side, it has been quite a lot of contemporary literature until I start following BookTube, and then after I started following BookTube, it went very much into classics. So I've been accumulating more and more classics. And now it's two of us readers, or three actually nowadays who read this house. We are totally four. I have two kids and a wife. My wife is a avid reader. She reads actually on this scale 1 to 10. If I'm 5, she's like 7, 8. And my daughter now is also coming into reading. My son is not very much into that. So these books, and our library here is our family library. That is not all the stuff here. Far from it actually is my stuff. It's a lot of stuff. Mia's, and now Maya is also buying books. So that's that has been filling, and we've been finally come to a point where we actually need to organize our bookshelf. So we've been doing that as well recently. But I think there is a question further down when we talk about the organization. But let's see. All right. Question number 3. Take a mental step back and ask yourself, what is the most likely first bookish impression a newcomer would have in your home? There are not a lot of newcomers in our house. Actually, it is most family members that have been seen this place evolving for years. So they don't see any differences. I think they are quite used to it. They are not commenting it very much. I think that a kind of, again, average Swedish person coming in would think that we are kind of a crazy hoarders, probably because all rooms in the house are actually walls look something like this, and it's becoming that there are very, very few walls, but there are no bookshelves. So it is pretty unusual, and so I couldn't say. Sometimes these few times where new people are becoming, nobody was really commenting, because I don't think really either people think why crazy hoarders, or they just don't care. They don't care about books. I do care. When I visit people, I care quite a lot, because the first thing I do when I come to people's houses, if I see a bookshelf, I go to bookshelf and trying to figure out who these people are. But they, nobody is coming looking into my bookshelf. And the reason why people are not coming by is because we live in a small village between Uppsala and Stockholm, and I work in internationally, and I have office in Stockholm. So all the people I meet in my everyday life, both in work and even when I'm out privately in Stockholm or Uppsala, the people who live there. So there is no reason actually to just come by my house. You really need to have an errand to come to visit me, and that's it doesn't happen. We are not arranging these dinners and that kind of stuff. It's not just the way we are. So it's a bit difficult question to answer, but I think you get it. Question number 4: how often, if ever, do you clean or reorganize your books? Cleaning, we clean our bookshelves on a weekly basis, on the outside, and dusting and so on. Then more thorough cleaning of the books, very seldom. Sometimes vacuum cleaning on the books or so, but not that often, to be honest. But on the surface and so on, on a weekly basis. Reorganization, not here is the question about reorganization. Reorganization, not that often total reorganization, or small reorganizations, as you see that the space is filling up, and then you need to kind of move some things around. I do that from now and then, and we did just recently huge reorganization where we organized our library into more logical set of sections and alphabetical order. So now we have all the things in order finally. It is quite sizable library. I think that we have approximately about 3,000 plus books. So it was several days of work actually to do that reorganization. But now when we've done it, it feels pretty good actually. All right. Question number 5. On average, how many books do you acquire in a given week? Yeah. Well, I'm not. Steve said he's buying between 50 and 80 books per week. But he's a 9 on this scale. So I guess I wonder how Harold Bloom, if he was 10, how many books did he acquire every week? If Steve acquires 80, but if I average it out over a year, I would say 1 to 2 books per year, and 1 to 2 books, per week to buy, and that's in some periods I might buy kind of 5, 6 per week. If I'm in some periods nothing, so then approximately I would say we buy between 50 and 100 books per year. And then you can imagine how this library grows if you're not throwing anything away. I'm just trying to do the math, looking forward. Then I realize we will need to do something, or we need to move. So something has to happen here. But anyways, we are buying most of the books actually when we are traveling. If we go to UK or if we go to the US, then we are basically buying quite a lot of books. We would travel, if we go to the UK, we come back home with 20, 30, 40 books after such a trip, because for the very reason, the bookshops here in Sweden are just horror, terrible bookshops. I did a video on a Stockholm book, and basically I took 3 decent bookshops really that are in Stockholm, and they are basically the best ones in my opinion in Stockholm area. The rest is really garbage, to be honest. So there is no inspiration really there, and there is no content. There is it is mostly contemporary Swedish kind of chick lit or contemporary Swedish detective novels, in my opinion, extremely poorly executed, so that you unreadable. But that's basically what they are filling bookshops, and then you are not inclined really to buy that stuff there. I do acquire books, and it has been quite a lot online. Typically, when I watch BookTube, and then somebody comes up with something really good that looks very interesting, then I just pull up my phone and order a book either on the online thrift store or on Adlibris, that is a kind of Amazon over here. So that happens now and then. So in average 1 to 2 books per week. Question number 6, just to take a break from the bookish questions. What song is your current earworm? And I always have these earworms, like I guess everybody has it. So I was kind of thinking, okay, what is right now? And right now, what has been rolling as a record in the back of my head all the time is Vossibop by UK grime hip hop artist Stormzy. I think it comes from a record that it is like 2 or 3 years old. Vossibop. It's really nice. I like the video. I'll put the link down below. I could imagine it's not everybody's taste, but I like hip hop, and he's a master of grime in my opinion. So yeah. All right. Number 7. What percentage of your self-control do you retain in a well-stocked bookshop? Well, it's I don't really feel a need to have self control. I go in and buy whatever I feel for buying. Now, again, in Sweden, it's not really really a problem because bookshops are very uninspiring, and also the bookshops that are more inspiring, like Söderbokhandeln that I had on this video. The books are so crazy expensive that it's just it's I just think, okay, I cannot really spend like 35 euro for a novel. It just doesn't make sense, because I know, like, in the UK you would buy like for 10-15 pounds, so why it just feels like a massive ripoff. So I'm buying mostly when I'm out. I'm buying here in Sweden. I'm buying mostly in a thrift shops, and I don't really have a problem with the self control, so to say. Even in case when I come back home with 30 books, I don't see that as a problem with the self control. It's more a conscious decision, and in a kind of in a spur of the moment. I feel always very very good when I'm doing that, both during doing it and afterwards. Question number 8. Do you ever feel the need to take a break from books? If so, what form does it take? Not, kind of hiatus kind of thing, that I can thinking, okay, now I just need some break from reading. I can have reading slumps. I can, but it's not like a planned break. It's just, sometimes I don't feel very much like reading a lot, and then I don't. And in those cases, mostly it takes a form of me watching a lot of YouTube, or listening to podcasts, for instance. So then I get back, but it's never kind of consciously I need a break. That really doesn't happen. Maybe that's not how it was meant, but yeah. Anyways, number 9. When you meet a new person, how long does it take you to bring up books? I seldom do that, really. Sometimes, when you meet new people, or even business acquaintances, when you go out to have a dinner, and kind of socializing and don't want to talk about business, and then people ask, okay, well, what do you typically do? What do you do in free time, and so on. So I would mention, then I read, and it's seldom somebody picks up on that hook, so to say. Sometimes people pick up, and then wow, what do you read? And then I say, then, oh, interesting, and then they kind of wander away. In very 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 seldom somebody kind of really gets engaged into that, and when they do that, it feels like finding a new new relative. It's really fantastic, but it happens very very seldom. So yeah. Question number 10. Have you given any thought, made any provisions for your personal library after you croak? Yeah, I've given thought. Yes, I did. I've done it, and it's very very sad to think about that. Not about dying, it is what it is, but thinking about what's going to happen with the books, because probably they're going to end up mostly in garbage, and some of them will end up in a second-hand bookshop. Some of them, some relatives, perhaps our kids will pick up to remember parents, or we give them or they would just like to have particular copies of particular books, but mostly it's going to just scatter around, and making any provision kind of donating it or whatever, it doesn't really make sense, especially not in Sweden, because here people don't read it, so that they don't give a damn. So they just just gonna mostly they're gonna end up in trash, approximately, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah. just realities of life. Number 11 and the last question. Are you known among your friends and loved ones for your weird and probably unhealthy relationship with books? Um, no, not really. People know that I read, that I like reading. I I'm trying to get people to read more as well. So some people might find it annoying because like my colleagues, my co-workers, what I typically do, and I've been doing this for many years now. Every Christmas and every midsummer break, just before to my management team, I buy books. And I always buy things that I've read myself, and that I think would fit that particular person, or for whatever reason, particular situation, or style, or just trying to tell them something, or whatever. So I would pick up pick the book for them, and then I would give them. And some of them just laugh and think it's very very strange thing I'm doing. Probably they have now a small library at home with the books that I'm giving them, and I never read them, just they have it there. And when somebody comes and asks, they're like, I have this crazy boss who's giving me books. I don't understand why he's doing that. It is probably, that's probably a bit weird, but it's just I'm just trying to get people to read. But I don't think that anybody really see it as unhealthy relationship with books. Hopefully not, but I don't think so. So yeah, so this was 11 questions here. I will not tag anybody because I guess that at this point, I'm pretty late in this tag. So I think that most of the people who I would have been tagging normally, they have already done this. So yeah, this was great fun doing it. Thank you very much, Steve, for making this fantastic tag. And until next time, take care. Bye.